You've already learned about one type of quadrilateral in a parallelogram. So now we're going to talk about three other types of quadrilaterals. A rhombus is a parallelogram that has four congruent sides. So it has all the properties of a parallelogram. Opposite angles are congruent, same consecutive angles are supplementary, diagonals bisect each other. The biggest difference here is instead of just opposite sides being congruent, all sides are congruent, so all sides have the same measure. A rectangle is a parallelogram that has four right angles. So once again has all of the properties of a parallelogram: opposite sides congruent, opposite angles congruent, consecutive angles supplementary, diagonals bisect each other. The difference for a rectangle is all the angles are just right angles. And then a square is both a rhombus and a rectangle. So it has all the properties of a parallelogram, but all sides are congruent and all angles are right angles. Out of this Venn diagram, I just want you to realize that if you have a square, it is both a rhombus and a rectangle. All this area here represents a rhombus and a rectangle together, which gives you the square. Rhombus and rectangles are completely different, but if you combine them, you get a square. A couple additional features and properties for a rhombus. If you have a rhombus, the diagonals not only bisect each other because it's a parallelogram, but they're also perpendicular. So what that means is the angle that is created by the intersection of the two lines, right, these are all right angles. So all four of these angles would be right angles. And also the diagonals bisect each pair of opposite angles. So if you remember from a parallelogram, opposite angles are congruent. So A would be equal to C and B would be equal to D. Right? Well, the diagonals cut those angles in half. So that means 7 and 8 would be equal to each other. And they would also be equal to 3 and 4. So 7 would be equal to 3, 7 would be equal to 4, 8 would be equal to 3, 8 would be equal to 4. Same thing with 1, 2, 5, and 6. Right. The diagonal cuts it into two equal parts, and all four of those parts are congruent, are equal to each other. So for example, we are given one angle that's 52 degrees. We want to find all the other angles. So in a rhombus, the diagonal cuts the opposite angles into two equal angles, so that means angle 2 has to be 52 degrees. And if these two are 52, the angles opposite of them are also going to be 52 degrees. Okay, that makes this entire angle 104 degrees. Right. Remember from last week when we talked about parallelograms, which a rhombus is a parallelogram, to get the consecutive angles, they were supplementary. So we had to take 180 and subtract 104, which means this entire angle is 76 degrees. Right, but that won't give us angle 7 and angle 8. That gives us the entire angle here. It gives us all of that. So if the diagonal bisects that angle, it's going to cut it into two equal parts. So to get 7 and 8, you're going to take 76 and you're going to divide it by 2. 76 divided by 2 is 38 degrees. So both 7 and 8 are 38 degrees. Opposite angles are congruent, so that means 3 and 4 are going to be the same thing as 7 and 8. They would both be 38 degrees also. Along with the properties of a parallelogram, a rectangle has an extra property that the diagonals are congruent. So diagonal AC would be equal to diagonal BD. They have the exact same measure. So in this example, it tells us that LN is 4x plus 18 and OM is 7x plus 9. So we want to find x and the length of each diagonal. Alright, so we know from the previous slide that diagonals are equal to each other. So then I can take 4x plus 18 and set it equal to 7x plus 9. Alright, so I do this to solve for x. We have to find out x first and then the length of the diagonal. You want to subtract 4x both sides. Move your smallest variable first. Gives me 18 is equal to 3x plus 9. Subtract 9 both sides. Always move your constant once you get to a two-step. 18 minus 9 is 9. Divide by 3. So x is equal to 3. So we found x, but we haven't found the length yet. So to find the length, we need to take what x equals 3, and plug it into either one of the equations. It doesn't matter which because they're the same length. So I'm going to solve for ln. I'm going to take out x and I'm going to replace it with 3 because that's what we solved for. That's what we got when we solved for x. And then I just need to simplify. 4 times 3 is 12. And 12 plus 18 is 30. So ln equals 30. If ln is 30, then so is OM. Right, so a square has all the properties of a rectangle and a rhombus. A square, a rectangle, and rhombus have all the properties of a parallelogram. They all kind of build on each other.